Hey guys, today we have another video, Law 22. Today we have another episode of the 48 Days to Power. I hope you guys are enjoying this series, because I am too. Let's get straight into it. Law 22. Use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. This law teaches that when you're in a weak position, instead of fighting a battle you can't win, surrender strategically. Yielding can buy time, conserve energy, and allow you to regain strength. True power sometimes comes through patience and control, not resistance. Let's get right into it. Self-improvement. We have 3 talking points. Know when to pause. Don't burn out trying to fight every battle like habits or emotions. Step back, reflect, and grow from the setbacks. Know when to take a pause. With habits, people recommend you to go cold turkey, just get rid of it completely. But as somebody that's an ex-smoker, I can tell you this. You have to develop a habit of stopping the smoking. And you do this by implementing strategies of replacing it with better options. From smoking to vaping, from vaping to nicotine gum, from nicotine gum to regular gum, and you quit. For people out there that are dealing with drinking, they might replace drinking with drinking a lower percentage of alcohol, and then they might replace it with beer, or they might replace it with water and or flavored juice, and they go through the step process. Don't be in a rush. Know when to take a break, step back, reflect on where your mistakes are, and move your chest points properly so that you can quit those habits, and know when to pause. Let go of ego. Admitting temporarily defeat is not a weakness, that's maturity. Real strength is in knowing when to let go and refocus. Let go of your ego. You don't have to be so grateful about everything and being like, I did this, I did that, I'm a man, You don't need to do that. Because when you admit defeat and know where your flaws are, you can start working on them. Egos give you blind sides to risks, habits, and dangers in this lifetime. You need to let go of that ego and admit to yourself when you're wrong, so you know when to work on it. And when you know when to work on it, due to letting your ego aside, it becomes a lot easier to quit those habits. Number 3, use losses as lessons. Turns every loss into fuel. Surrender isn't failure, it's strategy for your comeback. When you lose or you fail at something, always look at it as a path of success. Why? Because now you know not to make that mistake again. In a lot of people's lives today, we focus on what we accomplished, how far we've gotten, but we really don't try to swallow in those failures and why those failures happened. We just focus on what's coming forward, and that's fine. But when you look at your failures and you tell yourself, well, I failed back there because at 5 o'clock at night, I was thinking about this and I slept. Instead we're focused about what am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do in a month, in the future? And that's the thing, is that brings scarcity. Look at yesterday's failure and adjust so that tomorrow becomes a better day. Let's get into work. Avoid power struggles. If a boss or coworker is being difficult, don't engage in open conflict. Comply outwardly while playing smart moves. Don't try to encourage bad behavior. If your boss is raising his voice at you, do not try to tolerate it, but neutralize it. So how do you neutralize this? If a boss is yelling and shouting at you to get your attention, have them come up to you in a separate location. This could be at your office, in the break room, and say to them, hey, listen, it's quite embarrassing for you to yell at me, and I would really appreciate it if you don't, That's how you drop altercations. And it's good and it's healthy to do those things and know when to step up for confidence. You want to build confidence, and you don't want to try to do power against power. It just doesn't work for either of you. Number 2, step back to step ahead. If a project or promotion doesn't go your way, take the L gracefully. Then use the time to upskill and reposition. So when you fail at something, self-explanatory, when you fail at something, step back, realize where you fell, and move strategically. So if I knew I fell based on the fact that I forgot to tie in the drain plug on 5 cars, for an example, or you forgot to write an essay with punctuation points. Next time, take a little bit of less time focusing on the lettering in your essays, but instead the punctuations, Don't look at the stuff that you're good at, look at the stuff that you're bad at and fix those things. So when you come back, you can fix it and be a step ahead than others. Number 3, let others win small battles. This makes them lower their guard, and later you can win something bigger with less resistance. This makes them lower their guard, and later you can win something bigger with less resistance. Let others win. What does it mean by this? So if you realize that this person has a challenge with something that you don't struggle with, give them tips to win that battle. I think Christians call these testimonies. So when you're going through something and you get out of it, those are explorers. Those are stories you can explain to other people to help them get out of that rut. So when you're having your small battle at work, let's say it's organizing paperwork and you're just a messy person, you do not know how to organize, you want to grab the person that does know how to organize and ask them for a couple tips so that you win those small battles every day. How do you hold your pen? Which pen do you use for signing? Which pen do you use for this? How's your organization skills? What do you do in the afternoon time? Just little things to create the bigger wins. Last but not least, we have school. Pick your fights. Don't argue with teachers or classmates over small things. Save energy for long-term academic goals. Focus on your own goals. Don't focus on drama. Don't focus on trying to fight somebody out the courtyard after school. Just focus on your bigger goals. Avoid distractions. That's what it is. Number 2, take criticism gracefully. Accept poor grades or feedback without excuse. Use it to improve and surprise later. Take the criticism. The best thing your teachers can give you is criticism on your own work if it's bad. Because you know that later on in life when you go to college or when you take in opportunities for scholarships and they have special requirements for writing essays, you're going to be grateful that your teacher was strict on you because now you've become a better writer. Or you're glad that the teacher was strict with you when you were working on photography because now your photography is now famous 10 years later down the road and you're remembering, wow, this teacher taught me this. But instead, I was thinking about it in the idea of, teacher, you suck, I think you're being a little bit too strict. But you're going to realize that later on. And I've experienced that personally with jobs, especially with making ADHD my excuse for a very, very long time. Number 3, adapt to the environment. If you're not fitting in or struggling, surrender your current approach and shift strategies. If your environment around you is talk active and you're in a person that's an introvert, you want to use this time to open up and build confidence. When you adapt to your environment, you change. That's why it really matters a lot if you're in a good space or in a bad space. So pay attention to those environments, adjust accordingly to either move you up or move from those environments if they're going to move you down. These are broad tips now that we're going to talk about when we're close out the video. Surrender is a tactic, not a trait. You're not giving up, you're giving yourself an advantage. That's what it means about stepping down and taking the surrender flag. Use moments of weakness to observe and plan instead of react. And then lastly, people expect resistance. When you don't fight back, they reveal more and become careless. People expect resistance when you don't fight back. People, honestly, when it comes to this world today, there is a lot of resistance. People are provocative. People are motivated, self-motivated especially. So you want to just take surrender where it's allowed so that you can take advances forward. Now, these people who are egotistical and trying to move forward in life, no matter what it takes, shoving people to the side, obliterating their name, spreading drama, that's only going to provide temporary advancement. But if you're the person that takes in surrender naturally and takes these lessons as steps for your path for greatness, you're going to be a lot more ahead than these people of the world who spread drama to get ahead, talk trash to get ahead, want money to get ahead, so look at materialistic things. But when you're functioning with genuine, burning desire and honesty and truth, it'll go 10,000 times better for you. That was Law 22. I hope you guys enjoyed this video so much. Some of these can be a little bit of a pain, but to be quite honest with you, I love doing these. I learn about the laws, and you guys learn about them too with real life application. And I hope you guys did. Use the surrender tactic, transform weakness into power. I love you guys. That's going to be it for today's video. And you already know, God loves you too. Peace out.